We'll do it live. That's what I say. We'll do it live. It's Wednesday, and I'm back at the Loftus Party World Headquarters. So I feel like we have to do it, right? We're morally and legally obligated to do a live stream tonight. So thanks for being here, everybody. We're gonna let some people populate in really quick. This is the one. This is the show dedicated to crazy hair. Yeah, this is off the rails. We're gonna have to do something about that. Okay, let's talk about what is on the show. Holy, there's things, there's buttons flashing. It's crazy. It's crazy times. Off go the glasses. Hello. Hello, Cat Church is here. Barb is here. People, Molly's coming in. Nathan. Good evening, Nathan. How do you do? Okay, so lots to get into. Lots to get into. I keep looking it up. I have a tab open. I'm already putting together ideas for the Friday video. But let's talk about other things. Hello, Julie. Everybody, here's what we need to do. Share the videos, share the stream, let people know what we're doing. We're gonna share the stream just a little bit. And people don't like it, they can suck them. Oh, we're gonna have a good time on a live stream. And if they don't really dig it, eat a fistful of Vaseline. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Sharing is caring. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how well that freaking Care Bear propaganda worked? I still say that from time. Sharing is caring. Was there ever the Charmin communists? Just like a group of bears. No one could do anything on their own. They all needed help. Oh, don't be a grumpy bear. Let's ask this Care Bear. Seriously, that's you might as well just tell your kid you're a communist. Okay. Here's what we have. The things that I don't want to forget. Things that I want to forget. Thing numero uno. Next Tuesday night, the Gregory Gutfeld show. Yes. And I think Greg is going to be the host of that one. If he has the guts to show his face. So that'll be Tuesday. Then on September 19th and 20th, Denver, the Mile High City, the Denver Improv. There's some more tour dates. Everything is available at theloftusparty.com. If you look under tour dates, that tells you everything. I'm going to update it. And I'm gonna do a Blastorama. We're overdue for another Blastorama. That's on me. That's coming. So make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. So we already did that. Yeah, we're sharing. Oh my gosh, a giant shout out to the great people of Phoenix, Arizona. Holy moly, that was last Thursday night. That was a sold out show. There was not a seat left. That was standing room only. Good Lord, that was a good time. That was a fun one. That was a really, really fun show. So thank you everybody for coming out for that. Let's go to the comments section. The comments make the show. Charmin Communists sounds like an offshoot group of Tampon Tim Walsh's Tampon of the Month. The Charmin Communists should be like a punk band. That should be like a skiffle band. Good evening, we're the Charmin Communists. I'm Charmin Communist. Everybody needs to share. I'm a Charmin Communist. Just Jamie says, I love your Christopher Walken impressions. I'm Jamie. I'm glad that you do. I've been doing Chris Walken for a long time, and then it's like everybody was doing it, so I stopped. And then, as fate would have it, I was on stage one evening and realized I can't do a Donald Trump, but I can do Chris Walken. So I'm kind of bringing it back. I'm bringing it all the way back for the people. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It makes me laugh because Chris Walken, the thing is, you never know when he's done talking, he can just go on and on. You never, where's the punctuation? He's wonderful. He's a wonderfully talented dude. Jessica, yay, you made it. Well, I'm glad you dig it. I don't want to blow anything here. And I've been kind of holding off because it makes me so mad. I get so mad about it. So much stuff has me so incredibly angry, and I don't want to be like fueled by rage. I don't want to be that guy, which makes me whenever I get this mad about like political stuff, I really kind of have to like take a deep breath and stand back. But I'm watching what's going on in the UK. I'm watching what's going on here in the United States. What's going on in Great Britain is cause for a great deal of concern. A great deal of concern. Now, I don't want to go to jail for a tweet, which is what they're doing now. You can just say things on X. You can just post things on Facebook, and they'll show up to get you. They'll come collect you from the airport. It is off the rails. And I know we got people who watch. We got great people who watch from Australia. Good day. We got some UK people as well, some Canadians. It's a global thing. The Loftus party is truly global. With the UK, I'm always an optimist. There's people who are like, it's cooked, it's over. There's no coming back. There's no coming back from this. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Jan says England needs its own 1776. Why, Jan, I think you may have hit the nail squarely on the head. I was talking about this on the podcast, and thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks for listening to that. Holy smokes. The podcast is going extremely well. The podcast is a lot of fun. And then the portion on, I'll put my fingers over here, on locals and Patreon, that's everything to me. That's you don't have to mind your P's and Q's there. England, the government of the UK seems like they're actively going against the will of the people. I don't know how you call this democracy. And I apologize for not knowing the name of the village or whatever. But there was this village, and they were supposed to get a bunch of immigrants who were supposed to live in this hotel. And the people in the village were like, you know what, we're not comfortable with that. We don't want that. And the village council's like, all right, great, we hear you. We're gonna kick this up so they kicked it up to the next level. And they're like, you know what? We've got to take a vote. We've got to take a vote on it. That's what we need to do. So they took a vote, and the people won the vote. And then they kicked it up a notch and like, oh, we've got to go to court now. Now we've got to go to court. So they take it to the court. They lose the court case. The government, instead of abiding by the will of the people who voted, instead of abiding by the will of the court, they took it up to like another level. It's like they're actively spending all of this money on really expensive legal teams to go against what the people want. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. And to go back to what Jan was saying, that's taxation without representation. That's like, why are you paying money? Why are you paying money? I'm paying all this money in taxes. They're not doing what the majority of the people want them to do. They're actively UK, it's a mess. It's a mess. And then if you tweet the wrong thing, they come. There was a comedy writer. Guy was a comedy writer, and he got zapped at the airport for something that he had posted on X, like, I don't know. Somebody says somebody's not backing down. Who's not backing down? Boy, don't I wish I could say won't back down. Hey, Mr. Loftus, say happy birthday to Nathan. No. Nathan, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Just Jamie says, when are you on Gutfeld next? Just Jamie. We just talked about that. Tuesday night. So happy birthday, Nathan. Happy birthday to everyone that's having a birthday in hey, Kelly, in September. I think we're good to go for almost the entire month of September for the lives, and that'll be great. We Salt Lake City, Utah. Everybody's in the house. All right. So the other thing that, like, I feel like I want to take a public stance on this. A lot of people are mad at. Will Nathan get a song? Will Nathan get a song? Well, it's Nathan's birthday. Will he get a song? Will he get a song? Well, it's Nathan's happy birthday, and we hope he won't go to jail, and we won't get him out on bail. But happy birthday all night long. I'll try to. Now that's all I want to do. You guys, I have a problem. I have a big problem. I'm completely addicted to playing the guitar. I'm completely addicted to watching. I got hummingbirds in the backyard, and that makes me so incredibly happy. I don't know, begin to tell you. Okay, here we got to give us a shout out to Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They got together with a bunch of survivors of a certain gentleman's island, and they, the survivors, they're like, we know who was there. We know who was coming to that island. We know who was doing what. They had a press conference today. They are talking about, we will name names. We'll just do it. We're tired of all of this. We're tired of waiting for justice. A lot of people are upset with Thomas Massie about this. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. Let the chips fall where they may. It's too big, ladies and gentlemen. It is too big. So, Minnesota, the Bing Blargs are more worried about the gender identity. Oh my gosh. I was talking about that event in Minnesota on the podcast. It's going to get really bad. I'm very, this is one of the things I'm very concerned about. When you're a parent and you decide that you're going to do some Munchausen by proxy thing, so you're going to, encourage your kid to, you're going to confuse your kid. You're going to confuse your kid. And then you take them in for some kind of surgery, and you start putting them on certain kind of blockers. But like, once you do the blockers and the surgery, now you're Frankenstein. Now you're Frankenstein. And there's no coming back from this. This isn't like Lego Land with interchangeable parts. No, once you do that, it's forever. So just like that kid in Minnesota, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset. And the parents, I don't know how they reconcile that in their brain. I don't know how, as a parent, you're supposed to protect your kid. You're supposed to protect them. And then you encourage, ooh. So they can't back down from that. That's why they're fighting so hard for this. That's why it's all the moms are in the streets and all riled up. Ooh, can you imagine? Can you imagine being responsible for that kind of life-changing trauma in your own kid's life, oof, it's going to be horrible. Mike says Dems are mad at Ghislaine or whatever because she said Trump was a gentleman and never did anything. Yeah, I tell you what, it's hilarious. It's hilarious how the mainstream media is so desperate to slip Trump's name in there any way they can. Any way they can. They're like, oh, these island victims gave a press conference at the Capitol, which is right down the street from Trump's White House, because Trumpity Trump. They're so desperate. But like, ladies and gentlemen, if the Donald had anything to do with any of this, I really don't think he did. You think that the Dems would have like not used that against him? It's like they go after him for like weird loan things and mortgage things, and oh, you didn't value your home, and oh, you didn't when you got this when you paid your lawyer for Stormy Daniels, you didn't file that in the correct. If they had anything with Trump in that island, oh, we would have heard about it. We would have heard about it. So they tell all these confused adolescents that all their problems disappear post-train, but when they don't, the kids, yes, Kelly, I believe that. Listen, when you're a young kid and you're 11, 12, whatever, it's a rough time. It's a rough time. And everybody thinks, oh my gosh, I'm the weirdo. Nobody else has ever felt like this before. And I tell you what, for the parents, that's the part that truly disgusts me. That really, when you see like these movie stars are doing it, they're collecting these kids like they're Louis Vuitton purses. Oh, both of my kids, we have to protect these kids because both of my kids. What are the odds that both of your kids? So yeah, it's horrible. I believe the meds are messing with them mentally. Yup. I think it's all of the above. Here's a good idea. Don't do this. And I always feel like I should say this too. If you become, an older adult and you're in your 20s or whatever, and you're fully matured and you're like, you know what? I still kind of feel like I could, then go for it. Pay for it yourself. Go for it. I wish you nothing but the best. I wish everybody nothing but happiness. It's once you start doing it with little kids. Okay. Minnesota cares more for the than the victims. I believe so too. And here's another one. Here's another Tim Waltz one. Finger point, leg kick for no reason. Hey, remember that woman who got the pew 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 in the middle of the morning, late at night, and then the guy who did the pew 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 said Tim Waltz told me to do it? Do you remember that? Whatever happened with that story? Like, so many of these go flying by, and you're like, wait, what? Like the kid from Butler. Like, what's up? The kid from Butler. We don't know anything about him. That one's just, oh yeah, that one's just gone. The guy from Minnesota, he's out there in the morning disguised as a cop, just pew, 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 pew. And they're like, why'd you do that? And he's like, because Tim Waltz told me to. Tim Waltz wanted me to do that. Boy, that went away fast, didn't it? And that's why I want to give kudos to Thomas Massie for like, we're going to keep this island thing in the spotlight. We're going to keep going with that. Mike says it all goes back to pharma. My generation was never medicated like millennials and Gen Z. Surprise! Yes. I think a lot of it is the meds, and I also think there's stuff in the food that we eat. I think that there's something. I hope that Robert Kennedy can look into it and try to figure it out. But there's just too much. And who knows? Like, it could be like a crazy, like, oh, we had no idea that the chemical that we put on apples to keep them red. But if you combine that with the blah 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 from this breakfast cereal, holy crap, who knows? And then you throw in the all the schedule of shots that kids are in for. No, I say we go back to basics. We go back to basics. Let's make sure you don't have polio and smallpox. I think smallpox. Let's make sure you don't have smallpox and polio. But out the door you go. You're gonna have two little ones. I remember, and they're like trying to have these parents have their kids vaxxed against like the Hep C or whatever. It's like what are you talking about? Do you think my newborn kid's gonna be hanging out in a tattoo shop? Do you think my kid's gonna be sharing a needle with a hair? Why would you even suggest that a child would need that? Okay. Pharma literally told the teachers unions, if you identify a trend, yeah, it's bad. And it seems like that one's so easy to clean up. That seems like a no-brainer, easy peasy move. Just like you can't do that anymore. And it all seems so easy. I was talking about this on the podcast. The UK, that was a big one. But get ready to be looked at. People are we're gonna have to toughen up. We're gonna have to thicken our skins, everybody, because the whole deportation ICE thing, that needs, talk about Operation Warp Speed. They need to up those numbers. They need to up those numbers. We had back in like 2016, Yale was like, we think there's like 22 million illegals who live in America. That was back in like 2016. Their number was like 22 million, 23 million. Then you have Biden comes in, he kicks the door open. They think maybe like an additional 20 million. Then you have Trump going, we think there's like 55 million people who have overstayed their visas. Okay. I'm not a mathematician, but that sounds dangerously close to 100 million people who are living here who aren't supposed to be. So we need to get some people on planes, trains, and automobiles. James wants to know, hey, Michael, did you buy a Powerball ticket tonight? You could be a billionaire. I did not buy a Powerball ticket. I'm a scratchers guy. When I gamble, when I play the lottery, I do the scratchers. And always check your own ticket. Always check. Here's a fun little story. This is a fun one. Many moons ago, I did a commercial for the Kentucky Lottery. Go play. You could be lucky. You could be a winner. It was a whole thing. I used to do a lot of commercials. So I was talking to a representative of the lottery. I don't want to get anybody in trouble now, but that whole thing where they go, oh, and the money that the lottery makes, that's going to go to the school. The schools are going to get that. That does not affect the school's budget one bit. It is a shell game. So anyway, that's one thing. But back in the day in Kentucky, they know when they sell winning tickets because of the barcode, and they have like internal tracking stuff. They have, and this was Kentucky back in the day. I think they said they had $2 million in prizes that were just never claimed pretty much every year, because they think that people didn't understand the game, or they lost the ticket or something. However, what I thought was really funny about this, these poor souls. They would scratch off their ticket. They had no idea how the game worked. So they would go to the convenience store and they'd go, "Hey, could you check that and see if that's a winner?" And the dude would take their card and be like, "Boop. Yeah, sorry, nothing." And he'd throw it away. And they'd go out to their car. And then the guy would be like, "Yeah." But then he would need to find somebody to cash it for him. That's how they always catch them, because you always need a buddy of yours or a relative of yours to cash the ticket. But they would catch those people all the time. "Hey, could you check my ticket?" "Yeah, sorry, dude. That's a loser. Better luck next time." And then the instant you leave, they are digging through the trash, picking that thing out. No state gives the lottery money towards what they say they will, just like the fire aid money didn't help all the California fire victims. Exactly. Exactly. The lottery money for education, that's a bait and switch. That's a total, that is, it's horrible. It's horrifying. And then all of a sudden, once you get the lottery, then the state's like, "Well, we rely on that money. We need that." And they can never quit. The California fire thing is one of the most disgusting things I've ever encountered in my life. And I have to think those people up in the Palisades are so, hopefully they're pissed off. That's the other thing that like, aren't people getting mad? Like, they say, like, what was that, $100 million? $100 million from that fire aid thing, and the victims didn't get any? It's just, and these are people, if you live in the Palisades, you have some money, you have access to lawyers. Hopefully, like Spencer Pratt, Spencer is like the only one who's upset. And I like Adam Carolla, he called it. Carolla's great. He called it. He's like, "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have to rebuild, but the septic systems are old. You got to rebuild." So he called it. So you'd seem like his dance card should be full. Like, what do we do now? Who do you sue? Who's going to get in trouble? And if they're not going to get in trouble with the law, I ask again, who's going to get in trouble? Gavin Newsom is a total jerkweed. Yeah, he is. And, he tries to do what he can. And he was born to hand jive. I know, because Gavin Newsom, he knows a guy named Way Out Willie. They can't even go clean up their property. No, you can't. And then they tell you, I was hanging out with Kennedy, Kennedy from the Five and in Fox. She's great. She's awesome. And she was telling me they've told the homeowners there, you have to raise your foundation 3 feet. You have to raise the foundation of your property 3 feet. I guess that's for flooding. They're worried about flooding now in the very hilly area of Los Angeles, California, of the Pacific. Listen, if the Palisades have flooded, California is in the ocean. It's broken off and it's now sinking into the ocean. Okay. Fire Newsom. Yes, Fire Newsom. Fire frickin' Karen Bass. And I'll say this too. I think it's funny what the Donald is doing with this whole thing in Chicago, going, "I'm going to send troops to Chicago. I'm going to send troops to Chicago," because then you have to have the morons who are running Chicago defend their lack of action in Chicago, Pritzker and the mayor and all that good stuff. But don't send any troops into Chicago, Donald. Don't do it. Don't do it. Everybody needs to figure it out on their own. The people of the Pacific Palisades, they need to figure out these policies aren't working. They're just stealing from us. They're stealing our money and they're not doing anything about solving the problem. And that's what the people of Chicago need to figure out for themselves. You don't want to have some common enemy that is like, oh, the National Guard and Donald Trump have done. No, no. Keep it right on Pritzker, keep it right on the mayor, and just go, hey, look at all this horrible crap that's happening. Make this stop. You need to make this stop. And it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You can figure it out how to stop it. You got to hold people accountable. I was trying to think of some funny words. My sister got lucky, married a yuppie. But not in Chicago. All right. Meow. Yes. They blocked volunteer fire engines from Oregon coming to help because they didn't. It's yes. California is a mess. It's a mess. And that's the big liberal Shangri-La. Oh, yay, hooray. But when you steal $100 million from people who just lost everything, I don't know how do you still get reelected? How do you have the balls to go out there and still talk about yourself like you've done something good? That's scum of the earth stuff. People should be like outraged. It is outrageous. Like Thomas Massie, good job with the survivors of the island. People in the UK, I hope you're really mad. I really. If you don't, I don't know what it's going to take to get you fired up. People in Los Angeles, get fired up. Get fired up. This is what I was talking about on the podcast. Go listen to that if you haven't listened to it yet. When you get really loud and you get really angry and you are talking about it and you're fired up and you're bang, bang, bang on social media and you're marching in the streets and you're organizing, it works. It works. It works. It works. So let's get fired up. Woo! I don't know if there's a better way to hit the dismount. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. I will see you very soon. New video on Friday. New content every day at theloftusparty.com. Tuesday is Gutfeld, and then Denver, the 19th and 20th. September already. My goodness.